What's going on, everybody? It is Jacob Tucker, and welcome back to another Flow video. In this video, I'm going to be covering how to authenticate with a wallet on a website or whatever front end you're using. It's going to look something like this. So the user is going to click a connect button or login button. It's going to come up with all these wallet options: Blockdo, Lilyco, NuFi, Flipper. This is not going to cover, sorry, Dapper wallet connection. That I'll have to cover in a different video, but every other wallet, the user will click one of the wallets and they will be able to log in, and then it will have their wallet address displayed and then the ability to log out. So that's what we're going to cover in today's video. So to do that, I have a boilerplate Svelte project open. I tend to like Svelte way more than React. I think it's a lot better. I think it's a lot more friendly, blah, blah, blah. However, if you're using React, it's going to work the exact same way because it's all just JavaScript. So again, if you're using React, it will work the exact same except the little tweaks that I'll mention, but it's going to work. So, but yes, I am using Svelte. Okay, so yeah, so I have literally a boilerplate project here open in my VS Code. Let me increase the font here. So the first step to being able to log in is well to have a login button, right? So why don't we go ahead and do that? Let's just go ahead and add a button that says login. And when this is clicked, we're going to do something. So right now, this is empty, and we can just put like a dummy function here that just doesn't do anything, or just, I don't know, just like returns no or something. But we can save that here, and if we open up, God, I'm already failing. But if yeah, okay, let's just say we have this, okay? If we open it up, we have a login button that just doesn't do anything. It's just there on our front end. Um, but what we can do is define a login function that uses the @onflow/FCL library that I've installed here to make this work. So I have installed version 1.4.1. So if you're watching this in the future and you're at a future version, maybe come back to this version if it's not working. All I did was just go into my terminal and type npm install @onflow/FCL, just like that. But I've already done it. Okay, so I'm going to restart the server here. So once you do that, what I'm going to do is open up inside this source. I created a lib folder and then a flow folder here. And I'm going to open this up and make a utils.ts folder. So again, this is the same whether or not it's Svelte, React, it doesn't matter. And inside here, I'm going to create a function. So export async function called login. And what this is going to do is use the FCL library to authenticate. So the way that you do this is let's import authenticate from, and actually pops up here, from @onflow/FCL. And all we do is just put authenticate. And we just call that function. So super easy. And to log out, it's going to be very similar. So I'm just going to copy and paste this function, call it log out. And it's actually just or actually, I think it's called, what is it called? I have my notes here. I think it's called unauthenticate. Yeah, it's called unauthenticate. And we can actually just import that as well right here. So super easy. These two functions, log in, log out, will help us, log in and log out. So what we can do is we can just, fill this in with the login function we just made, and then also put a log out button that logs out, right? And we can import this as well. Cool. So let me just space this so it's a lot easier for you all to see. So yeah, so pretty simple. Now when we refresh the page here, there's going to be a bit of an error here, and that's because, well, actually, why is it giving us an error here? Oh, because I haven't saved this file. Okay. So when I click login, you're actually going to see there's an error here. It's saying, there's no service passed to authenticate, then discovery wallet, blah, blah, blah. This error is just indicating that we haven't configured FCL at all to work with a certain network, right? Because there's emulator, there's Testnet, there's Mainnet. I think there's also Sandbox, but I've never really used that. So how do we actually configure our application to work with a certain network? So the way you can do that is inside, I made another file called config.ts. And inside here, I'm going to import config from @onflow/FCL. And we're going to configure our certain config to work with a certain network, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So what we can do, first we have to configure our access node.api. Now, this part is saying what network do we want to look at? Do we want to look at, the emulator, testnet, or mainnet? And I actually have a note stock right here that I'll show you, where this is, so this is for mainnet, this is the access node. For testnet, this is the access node, and for emulator, this is the access node. So let me just go ahead and show you testnet, just because I think that's probably what you all might want, or is the most common. So let's copy that and put that here, and I'll show you what it's like for because mainnet's going to be the exact same, but emulator is a bit different, so I'll show you that. Um, Now we have to configure discovery.wallet. So what discovery.wallet is saying is like, what is the URL to, like when I showed you earlier, when we opened up, I'll show you again. When we opened up that modal, right? It's saying what wallets do we want to display here, and this is all these wallets are a part of what we call discovery on Flow. So yeah, so it's just gonna, if we put one URL, it's gonna pull up all the discovery wallets, which are all of these. So the link for that on testnet is right here, discovery. Boom. And then lastly, what we need is flow.network. And this is literally just the network you want. So in this case, it's just testnet. If it was mainnet, it would be mainnet. And if it was emulator, it would just be emulator. But we're going to do testnet today. Okay, so this is the config, which is pretty cool. And yeah, if you also wanted to just like store this in env vars, you could also just like paste these things here. Like, let's just say this was testnet, the access node was, blah, 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 whatever. And then you just imported the, config vars. You could do that too, but I'm just going to, just to make it easier, I'm just going to keep it like this. So let's just not even look at this for now. And then, yeah, so now inside our utils, well, let's just import the config file so that when we do log in and log out, it's reading from this correct, information, whatever. So let's try it. Let's click login. And I think if everything goes well, testnet might take a second to load because it's kind of, testnets can be kind of slow. So let me try again and click login and see if it pops up. Maybe I should have done mainnet because it's a lot quicker. I don't see any errors here. I think it's just literally taking a long time. How much longer should I wait? Oh, no, you know what it is? I think it's because I was still logged in. So let me try to click log out first. Okay, that was what it was. I was still logged in. So when you're testing, just make sure to log out first and then log in. I run into this problem all the time. I don't know how I didn't think about that. But anyways, so here we go. So right, so Blockdo, Lilyco, Flipper, these are all available on testnet. So they all popped up. We can click Blockdo and we can log in, and then boom, so we've kind of logged in here, right? But we don't really know that because we're not displaying anything. We're not, like, how do we access information about the user? So that's what I'm going to show you next, right? And again, if I were to click log in, it's not going to work, but if I click log out and then log in, it's going to pop up again. Also, I'll come back to this missing config in a second here. Okay, so, how do we actually store information about the user? Well, so this is where it differs with Svelte and React. In React, I think you use the like use state. I haven't done React in a long time, but it's whatever this is, like the const user set. I think it's like set user equals use state, and then you put like some default value. I think it's called like a state variable. This is what you would use in React. However, in Svelte, I'm going to use stores, they're called. So in order to do that, let's, I'm looking at my notes here. Let's make a user store, export const user equals writable. And again, with Svelte, this is like the default value. In React, you would put the default value in the useState function. So the two initial states you want to set are logged in, false, and address to null. That way we can, we can see if the user is logged in without, before the user has even been configured. So it's helpful. Um, Cool. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make it so that every time the user logs in and logs out, it's automatically setting that, it's automatically setting the user store. So what we can do is we can say if browser just being, we want to make sure that the browser is actually loaded up and is ready. We can say current user, which let's import from @onflow/FCL. So current user dot subscribe, and we can just put user dot set. Now I believe, again, I believe in React it would be something like you would do like a use effect function like this. and you would inside here you would put like you put an empty array here, and you would just say current user dot subscribe, and then I think you would just pass set user here, right? If you named it like this, set user equals use state, and then you passed in these as the initial things here. So this is basically what I'm showing you is this is what it would be in React, and this is what it is in Svelte. So I hope that helps. Anyways, back to Svelte. So yeah, so what this is going to do is we have a user thing here, and every time so current user.subscribe is saying every time authenticate or unauthenticate is called, it's going to change or update the user. Okay, cool. So now what we can do is say, all right, if user, where is, I think I can also just like import here. If user.logged in, right? This is how you would do it in Svelte. Let's put just a little p here and just put welcome. Your dot, and you have to put the little $sign in front because it stores in Svelte. User dot address. Else we can say please log in, like that. Okay. So right now it says please log in. So we click log in, go to Blockdo, and we click confirm, and it says welcome my address. So now we have information about the user. Awesome, right? And if we click log out, it says please log in again. So it's super simple. Yeah, super easy. So the last thing I want to talk about here is if we click log in, it says missing config. So let me actually show you. I'll have to. I didn't really prepare this part, but I want to show you it anyway. If you go to, I'm pulling up the Toucans. Toucans is open source, by the way, so you can always take a look here. But there's two things that we can do. So app.detail.title and icon. Okay. So in here we can put app.detail.title, and we can put like Svelte demo, and then for app.detail.icon you can put any URL to an image. I don't have one, so I'm not going to put this here, but let's say you've like a I don't know, like whatever image you can put here, you just go for it. But I'll show you the title. So if we go ahead and log in now, log in, it should say okay, it's not. I for some reason locally it's kind of buggy, but basically let me show you here. So right here on Toucans, if you click connect, see how it says connect to Toucans? When it says connect to Toucans, this is because this is the title. This is what we're configuring right here. And if I click on Blockdo here, you'll see that it loads up the Toucans icon here. That's because of this right here. So you can also configure those two if that's helpful. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess emulator. I forgot to show you emulator. So how you would do this on emulator is let's go back to config here. So let's pull up our notes again. So let's configure this for emulator. So localhost 888 whatever, and then the wallet is everything is this one. Okay, and we put emulator here. Now, emulator is a bit different, and I'll just show you how to do that real quick. So if you load up, I'm so bad with Windows that I have to like CD back every single time. So just stay with me for a second. Okay. So what you do is first you have to have a flow.json file. So you put flow init just like this, and it will spawn a flow.json file in your project. Then you can type flow emulator start, and it will start the emulator. And then you can type a flow dev wallet in your other one, and it will pull up, it will start the Flow dev wallet so that when you refresh your page here and click login, it actually pulls up the FCL dev wallet, and it's much easier. Look how quick it is to log in. So pretty awesome, right? Boom. Yeah. So, oh, I think it's because I put app.details. It's just .detail.title, I think. That why? Right. So now it says Svelte demo. You see that? Because I changed it from it's app.detail.title, not details. So there it is. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to show you. So yeah. Oh. I wanted in order to run these commands, by the way, you need to have the Flow CLI. That's what I wanted to show you. Flow CLI. So I'll put this in the description as well. This link for Windows, I just copy and pasted the PowerShell link. So anyways, I've been going for too long at this point. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.